Every day we wait, they get stronger.
Let's take them by surprise.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
Rogue One starts here with Andor, and we're talking about each and every episode of the Disney Plus original series on Going Rogue. My name's Norm White, and joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, Dylan, excited to be here, but sad there's only one more episode left.
Yeah, I feel like that was honestly my biggest takeaway from this week's episode. It was, it wasn't a super eventful. It's obviously a very character-driven episode, but by the time the credits started rolling, I was like, oh shit. There's only one left. Yeah.
There's only one left.
It's crazy.
Who knows when we're going to get more?
Next year, so I've been told. But episode 11 this week, Daughter of Ferrix, was directed by Benjamin... Daughter of Ferrix was directed by Benjamin Caron, written by Tony Gilroy. Synopsis of which was a fugitive once more. Cassian must make his
Sorry,
next
it was
move
singular.
before too late. Okay, there you go. All right, so I wrote it down right. You tried to correct me. I'm always right. Always judge me.
Well, it doesn't make sense because they said the group that they referred to as the Daughters of Ferrix.
Yeah, but I guess the title's referring to his mother as the daughter.
Was she a daughter of Ferrix?
Yeah.
A group that they don't explain anything about.
Wait, they don't need to. But I guess it's just like she's a daughter of Ferrix.
Guess.
You know, like you're a son of Earth. I don't know. Like, what is it? Is that? Does it need to be any more complicated than that? I don't like. It's a planet.
Oh no, it sounds like it's a culty group. You know what I mean?
I mean, it sounds kind of culty, but I just took it as it's like they're talking about putting them into fucking building blocks and making them part of the.
You know, he goes, "Oh, the Daughters of Ferrix are here." You know, that doesn't sound like a normal thing you'd say about people. Normally you just say, hey, it's the ladies from down the street. Coming to clear out all her old stuff.
I mean, they're on a different planet. So
the ladies from church. That's probably more accurate.
Mate, I don't know why. I don't think I didn't take it as a religious thing. Maybe it was a religious thing. I don't know. I didn't take it. I thought, like, they're talking about just rich. They got this ritual thing, that, part of the earth and all this whatever else. But I didn't take it as religious. I just took it as spiritual. Anyway, what do you think of this week's episode?
It's good. Not super memorable, I'd argue. It was it's definitely a setup episode for next week. I guess where everybody's coming for a funeral. It's yeah. So everybody's kind of all finding out about Cassian's mom dying, and then everybody kind of making plans to come to Ferrix next week.
Yeah, I mean the episode sets up a lot of stuff. I would say it is I'd say there's a lot of really good stuff here though. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's all smaller moments, though. It's not like shattering, like, reveals or anything like that.
I feel like there's one massive moment.
I mean, there's Luthen, like, taking out of the ship by himself.
That was pretty
using
cool.
These, are those lightsaber
I don't know.
cannon things something that's been used before? If
No,
not, why have they not installed that on every single X-Wing?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
That seems like something that would be super useful in a dogfight, you know what I mean? You just need to do a quick pass by one of the other ships and bang.
Also super dangerous, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess you can't be very close to... Yeah, not for like a squadron.
Yeah. Let's start there then, since we're there.
Okay.
Luthen, this episode... Well, I mean, everyone's sort of got a moment in the story of this episode. So Luthen goes to speak to Saw again this episode. I don't actually know why he went there, really.
I assume he got the message from Saul saying, hey, I want in on the Anton.
Right, yeah, I suppose he just asked to talk to him. That would make sense, actually, yeah. So he goes there because Saul's suddenly like, I want to do this Krieger job. Saul, Luthen, of course, is at first trying to be like, this has happened, it's off, we're not really doing that anymore or whatever. And then he has to reveal the fact that as we went through the last sort of 2 episodes prior to this, he's been set up, he's basically been lamb to the slaughter. Well, that's what Luthen's plan is, because if he goes to save him, because the
Yeah.
the IBS found out about him. If he goes to save him, he'll reveal there's a mole, so and all this other sort of thing. And you have this really great interaction, I think, between Saw and Luthen, especially when Saw goes full. Well, Forrest Whitaker goes full like Saw crazy mode, just with the, you know, like starts accusing going off or whatever. I like the
just
fact
threw
that
tubes under the bus.
yeah, I was saying, he throws tubes. I like how he's just like no, like starts sticking up for himself. I sort of like that, but yeah. And then after all that, it took Luthen to stick a gun in his face, and yeah, the only way to get him to shut up and actually listen to him. But then we finally get that line that we saw from the trailer and the context for it.
Yeah.
We'll call it what you will.
War.
Call it war then. Yeah. So that was really, really great. And then obviously he goes to leave there and he finds out, like every character in this episode, I feel gets a phone call saying, Cassian's mum's dead. Cassian's mum's dead. Like everyone's just like
she doesn't yeah, it's much more coded.
Yeah, it's more coded, but like everyone gets their own message about Cassian's mum having died
like,
in one form or another.
Yeah, I mean that was interesting. Yeah, I will say on the Saw thing, I think it's interesting that like this might be like Luthen might be the influencer to getting Saw on the more extremist path. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it was already. He's
implied.
like thinking big picture and willing to do whatever it takes, no matter the costs of other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it turns out next week Saw's just going to do the job. And, like,
I don't think so. I think
he's just going to let the 30 people.
Yeah, I think
30 people die plus Krieger.
I like how they always say that. It's like 30 people plus Krieger. 30 people plus Krieger. All right, can someone just say 31? Fuck's sake. Crazy. Yeah, and then obviously he goes up and he's about to head off to Ferrix after this little coded message he gets where I don't know their relationship, but his partner in crime, I guess, is basically telling him not to do it.
It's his assistant,
yeah.
But it's the type of assistant who does all the work, you know?
Yeah, very much. But then you got this really cool scene where he's obviously dragged in by a tractor beam, and just the way he sort of builds up to shredding the absolute fuck out of the beam, and after and then has this cool battle sequence or whatever. And again, we've seen a couple of bits of this in the trailer previously, but yeah, it's still very cool just to see him get straight into action when necessary and show that he's he's a man of action too, not just a man of words. So really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude's face too at the end. The commander dude, just
the Empire. Yeah. It's like fuck. That one ship took out like 2 TIE fighters and ruined our tractor beam.
Yeah, I think they took out 3 or 4 because he shot a couple and then he like double killed one at the end.
I mean, it's really smart because he would have just threw out some debris, kind of, and just let.
Yeah, I mean that's all he did. Yeah, just like
let
force
the space rebel take.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming they put their shields up or something. Yeah.
You have to get rid of the shields to
do the tractor
suck
beam.
someone in to do the tractor beam. Yeah. So, really cool sequence. The funniest thing is that after they checked his ID and it checked out the Alderaan ID, if they just said, "Oh, our bad, actually, you're free to go,"
yeah, everything would have been fine. But no,
this dude's like, "No, we need the training.
Overreach.
We need training." So that's what we get with Luther in this episode. The only other thing worth mentioning, I guess, is that Vel goes and visits the assistant, right?
Claire, yeah.
Claire, yeah.
Leia.
Leia. No, it's not Claire. They have this, funny little interaction, of course, where she's just openly talking and
doesn't want to play by the rules.
Doesn't want to
play. She ain't got time for this riddle shit.
Yeah. Which I can get to a degree, but yeah. Long story short, she too's like, "Hey, I found out that Cassian's mum's dead. They will spread the message, blah, blah, blah."
Pass that along. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I found, I spotted in the background here at one stage that's got like one of the masks that the Guardians wear in Star Wars Rebels. So I don't know just a cool little thing I spotted in the background. I assume there's lots of references because they're in this antique shop thing, obviously. So
maybe.
I assume there's lots of cool things in the background for the really, really hardcore. But that was
and they're actually doing the work to like maintain the antiques.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is a real job. I guess that's how they bring in money and whatever. They can use the money. You can wash money by buying stuff, I guess, technically. Want to get to go down the mob route or whatever. We get, who do I want to say?
Continue on Vel and her catching up with Mon?
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to go to Mon then? Yeah.
Yeah, it's who's, reveals to Vel how deep in shit she is. And then, again, touching on her daughter, and like her daughter is weirdly obsessed with the old ways of.
You're talking about a religious cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, young extremism, going back into the hardcore old ways, and all these young girls like doing this chant thing that we don't understand the context for, or we have obviously.
No, but I love that about it. It's just, I feel like there's
it's
never,
creepy and weird and wrong.
I actually sort of wish there was more stuff like this, because the thing is, a scene like this where they explain what you need to know, that there's like an old religion of sorts, like to put it into our words, it's like an old religion of sorts that they used to practice. No one really does anymore. They had to when they were kids, but then they got off it. But to the point that when Vel comes in, she's like, what the fuck, this is, and then she points out that, Mon points out there's actually her daughter who she loves it and wants to really get into it. But it's, enough. Yeah, I feel like there should be more stuff like this in a universe as rich and big as Star Wars. Like, why can't there be like some crazy religion from like the Old Republic days or something shit like that no one's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dylan, is Mon's daughter a Star Wars hipster?
I don't know. Like, is being in religion a hipster thing? I don't know.
Like trying to repurpose old things.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Try and bring them back. Yeah.
She's a
weird. And it's just like the dad doesn't. The dad's very open minded. Doesn't really.
Yeah.
He's open minded. Yeah. She completely brought it on herself. Got the pastor, found the pastor to help teach her or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting element that hopefully we get some sort of explanation for, like why.
I don't think we will.
I don't think we will. That's
maybe in future seasons, but that's not something that is going to happen next episode. It's not going to be like.
Well, I think more
in
than
the season finale. Let's spend 10 minutes explaining this fucking weird cult religion.
Yeah, probably what it does is it sets up the threat of like introducing what's his face's son, who's also into the old ways. You would assume.
Whose son?
The gangster dude from last week.
Oh, right. Yeah. Whatever. Duck Faden or some shit. That's actually a Magic the Gathering Planeswalker, but that's what his name sounds like to me.
Davo Skulden.
There you go. Close
Dabo.
enough. Yeah. I mean, maybe. Yeah, that could be a thing. Possibly.
Like,
see how they'll.
Yeah, maybe she will want to get a betrothed to this other person at 14.
Maybe that's part of the cult. Maybe that's part of the religion cult. Yeah, maybe that's what they did. I really like this. This is a very, very strong performance seen from Genevieve O'Reilly. Giving that whole breakdown
just
and
getting everything off her chest.
Really, really great moment. And again, like the thing with Genevieve O'Reilly is she's really, really good throughout this whole show, but because of the character and she's playing someone who's sort of always hiding everything, she never really gets to show much emotion because she can't. So this is the most she's got to show. And you really feel that she's legit worried and scared and all these other sorts of things at the moment. And she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and she's got this one solution, but she doesn't want to go with it, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see what she does do next week, because that's definitely something where I'm like, you can't leave that for that. That has to be resolved next week. There's a few things that just have to be resolved by the end of the season, of course. Mon's money problem's been a through line for the entire season. So
is she still in the Senate during the Rebels period?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
I say maybe she just runs away. She runs a rebellion. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think. She's in an episode, so but maybe I need to look this up after double check. But I believe she's still they do something, but she's still there.
She's more useful as a senator. Yeah.
I saw someone tweet today that was a very good point. Someone tweeted something like the worst thing about Andor is making it super unbelievable the fact that Mom would wear this, and it was just a picture with the point of the tweet is in the show, she's always wearing all these different outfits and stuff. And every time you see her in fucking Star Wars, anything else, she's wearing the same drabby ass white cloak. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so it's good point. Even in the of what? White power?
of the drabby leader of the rebellion.
Okay, fair enough. Who else must be? Cyril. So Cyril gets a call as well, because every fucking character gets a call this week. Gets a call from old mate who
should have called this episode telephone.
Yeah. Shout out Lady Gaga. Gets a call from old mate who helped him on that mission and screwed it up royally with him. He's heard through the grapevine somehow, it doesn't really matter, but he that the mum has died as well, so he passes that along, and then Cyril steals his mum's money from her safe, presumably, of course, to go get a ship back to Ferrix. So, yeah. Everyone's coming back. Not much else to his scene other than, he's just obsessed still. He's a fucking little obsessed dude.
Yeah. His bummer disapproval during the phone call. Listening in, couldn't give any privacy.
I mean, what the fuck? Like, Star Wars supposed to be the futuristic tech and whatever else, and he's got to yell at a wall of the screen and turn knobs to get a better picture. Like, come on, man.
I mean, it's a long time ago, so you can understand why the best issues.
Yeah, true.
It was in a smelting factory.
It's possible. The only other thing, is there any characters I'm missing other than Cassian?
No.
I mean, we have a quick couple scenes with the people on Ferrix, but I don't feel like there's like any, like, obviously you just see what's her face is working a job now. Then there's a dude there undercover that working for the IBS. Yeah. You know, like there's a few bits and pieces.
Cassian's friend, like with BTMO.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
super depressed.
Oh my god, is he depressed? Like, is that part?
He's like the dog after the owner dies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very very much. That part,
but
like,
able to talk.
The fact that episode starts that way, I thought was super sad, just from his point of view.
Close up of his father,
yeah, the close up of him, like a droid point of view to deal with death and everything. Like I haven't seen that before, you know. Like, it was really. I just thought it was like sort of sad but sweet, that moment at the end when he's about to leave, he's flicking off all these fucking light switches. Also, hey Siri, you know what I mean? Like fucking Jesus Christ, he's going around his house flicking off a million light switches.
They're in the middle of nowhere on an outworld planet, you know.
This is ridiculous.
It's Coruscant.
Crazy.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, when he's like, we gotta go, we can come back tomorrow and all this sort of stuff. And then when B's like, you could stay, and he's like, fine, one more night. And then he, like a dog, an animal, like comes out of his shell, like pecks up and comes over, like, doesn't need to say anything. It's just a very much like, thank you, stay with me tonight sort of thing. So yeah, sad for a droid, but yeah, sort of adorable at the same time. And then you also have Dedra. That's her name, right? Dedra?
Yep.
Yeah. So she has that one scene where she's contacted. Yes, it's so many characters. There was that one scene where she's contacted, of course, about like, we're not going to let them. They're trying to organize this funeral. And even I was thinking like, well, of course you let them organize the funeral. You're trying to capture them, right? And then she says, you're trying to. Like, I was like, you all suck at your job. Like,
have you never seen any movie in which there's, you're trying to get somebody to come out of hiding?
It's always at a funeral.
You do a funeral.
Yeah.
Make sure you check any guys standing in the background with a trench coat and sunglasses on.
Yeah. On a hill.
With an umbrella,
behind a tree.
Yeah.
Tell these things.
But make sure they're nice and tight in the box. Anyway. I thought it was really interesting the way they described the ritual for death on Ferrix. Like, so they incinerate the body.
Basically,
cremate the body.
They cremate the body, they mix it in with like dirt or whatever, and then like make them
like
into bricks,
mortar,
basically.
and then they turn them into a brick.
Yeah.
And they just stick them in a wall.
Yeah. Which sounds really like terrible.
Sad.
But
also,
I don't think it is. Like, it's sort of like, when you think about it, what do we do, right? Well, most people, like I don't say all, but most people, what ends up happening with them? Buried in the ground, take up space.
Or you just get thrown into the ocean.
I mean, yeah, some
cremated and your ashes get thrown.
Cremated and thrown in an ocean.
Everybody gets cremated now. It gets ashes tossed around all over the place.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be buried because it's just like I hate graveyards. To like, you
don't want to come back as a zombie. I understand
that's my main thing. I'm really worried about the zombie apocalypse.
You don't want to be responsible for other people dying, so you're going to take yourself out first.
That's right. That's right. But it's like they use you.
But you do run the risk if, everybody gets resurrected with the next second coming of Christ. You've got nobody to come back to.
I'm telling you right now, if Christ comes down, he's like, you're on the naughty list. Like, it ain't happening. I'm well aware it ain't happening for me, so it's totally fine. But their whole thing with like cremation and turning you into a brick and all that, I know, I thought it was kind of cool. Like, they make you into something useless and make you part of the world, like part of the planet, and
you'll be part of the planet forever until someone comes in, starts building condos where your brick was.
But I definitely thought that was interesting, and all these little details.
Blast the rock.
That's it. But it's these little details, I think, that makes the writing so strong, because it's stuff like this and the religion thing with the daughter, and like all these little
makes it feel
details,
like a real world.
Yeah, it makes it goes back to making everything feel real and not just because I feel like I just got so used to Star Wars just writing characters and writing between the lines of what there is and what you're supposed to know and everything, and then again. The show's really good. I don't know if I've said that before, but so Cassian, I guess, is the other thing. So Cassian's not really in this episode much, but he has 2 scenes, but that makes sense. The first one we see of him, I thought was really, really cool, because it's him and old mate hanging off the edge of a cliff, hiding from what's his name?
Melshi?
Dude from Rogue One that I didn't know was in Rogue One.
Ruscott Melshi.
There you go, Melshi. Old mate Melshi is hanging off a rock with him because they're hiding from people, presumably looking for escaped prisoners.
Prisoners, that's
which makes sense. I assume that's the thing that would happen. And I like that scene because he's old mate Melshi, being a little bitch. He's like, I'm gonna fall.
I'm gonna let go at some point.
But I like how he has this whole conversation, and Cassian's just obviously keeps repeating. Like, they're going to leave soon. They're going to leave soon. And he's obviously been saying it for ages. And it's just like him trying to like keep up a positive mentality or whatever else. And then they have that quick conversation. And then Melshi's like, tell me they're going to leave again soon. He's like, they're going to leave soon. So I like how he sort of leads him through that scenario. They then go attempt to steal a shitty ship.
Terrible.
It was a terrible idea. Terrible.
Why are you running so close to them?
God, it's fucking. I was with Cassian. Cassian at first did say don't.
Not
do this.
thinking straight.
It was Melshi's idea. Melshi's getting 2 feet in front of his elbow. You know what I mean? It's going too fast. But those 2 dudes or aliens, whatever they are, I kind of like their designs. They were like weird. Old mate had like a robo hand thing with a knife coming out of it.
Aliens.
Yeah, I know what the fuck's going on, but then they're like, you heard our waters, and the waters and the thing, and it got no damn fishing anymore.
Go to prison.
Yeah.
Killed all fishes.
Yeah. I thought it was, I kind of like their whole.
And the nets were all wet.
Yeah. I don't know. No?
Yeah, didn't like it.
It was a bit
I wouldn't want to be caught in it. That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't have been caught in a non-wet net either, So, just to clarify. No net for me, thanks.
If you had a preference, wet net or not wet net?
Moist. Just thought I'd left that hanging for a sec. Then, they end up getting a lift anyway. Cassian goes back to his. I like it again. I really appreciate that all these things I keep saying, like, well, surely he would go back there because he's got the thing. And remember, we saw that one episode. Of course he goes back there. He does. So he goes back to his hotel room. I assume it was a rental or whatever was going on there, the holiday planet. Gets back his box, which has money and the book and some guns. And I don't know what that thing he opened and started talking to him was, but a radio? I don't know. No, it wasn't a radio. He called someone. I don't know what that was. But.
No, that was the Will brought it up. The what's it called? The old mate gave him or left to him after he died.
Oh, that's the old school technology thing in the Bob, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember the word.
He's like, he said, if you learn to use it, you'll never you'll have mastered life or whatever. That thing, right? To track or hack or whatever it was, right?
The manifesto. That's the word. Fuck.
Okay. Yeah. No, was it the manifesto?
Yeah.
Okay, that's manifesto. Right. Because it talked for a hot second. The kid.
Yeah, because Karis is the name of the character. I was watching with subtitles, and Karis' name came up.
Gotcha.
Because I put subtitles on because I couldn't understand what the aliens.
But they saying we're going around, taking to the fish and but it's all on a planet. Well, shit, but I'm going to prison. But where do you want to go? That's sort of how the scene plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Cassian obviously has this call, rings up old mate at the
deliveries to the post office.
Yeah, I guess. I was like, I know where it was, but yeah, post office, sure. Brings up old mate at the post office. He tells him his mum's dead. I really love this Diego Luna's performance here, like just the stare on his face and everything like that. You could really sense the just distraught
the sadness of
and everything coming out of him.
Just the other dude as well, and Cassian's like, no names. He's like, Cass,
yeah.
I'm sorry, your mum died.
Yeah. That was really, really good. I mean, sad, but it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then him and Melty. What did we say it was? Melshi. Fuck, neither were right. Him and Milkshake split up, and they decided to go separate ways because he says that everyone must know about this. Gives him a gun. They split wise. Cassian's staring out over the ocean. Obviously he's going to go to
I'm going to get back to Ferrix.
Yeah, which we all know is a
even though he should not go to Ferrix.
Yeah, we all know it's an absolutely horrible decision, but so how do you think next week's going to play out? In a world where we now know 100% every character is going to be there.
Well, Cassian's going to be there, and then all shit's going to break loose.
We know Cassian doesn't die or anything, so that's fine. But
I think. Well, it's interesting because Luthen wants to go there to take out Andor. Well, not necessarily, because his assistant is the one who set up to get Andor taken out. So maybe Luthen wants Andor. But, Vel and Cinta are under the impression that he wants Andor taken out. So, yeah.
That's going to be the interesting thing. How we end this season, where Cassian is, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part. But yeah, I really don't know. Obviously, I'm really
one other thing we saw a little bit of Bix as well, who is completely messed up from the torture from last episode.
Yeah, and she gets asked. I forgot about this actually. Yeah, good point. She gets asked if it's Luthen, like the guy's Luthen.
If Anton Kruger is Luthen,
and she just starts crying. Yeah.
Well, she can't get words out. I don't think she can.
But I wasn't sure.
It seems like she's completely messed up,
The thing I wasn't sure about was is the guy reading that as yes? Like she's so distraught because she's like, she caught. Has to say yes or you know what I mean? Like, yeah, because she's caught. Like, I feel like it was left open on purpose, the scene, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. Which is interesting.
We'll find out next week. So,
yeah, true.
They put all their resources into catching Kruger.
Yeah. So
next week at Spellhouse. Trying to capture him live, I guess. So.
Which is well, actually, that's more interesting as an outcome because, and that I guess would make sense given Luthen's whole conversation this week about how he doesn't actually know him, so he's not scared if he gets. They've never met. They've been in the same room together. They don't know it. He doesn't know it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I suppose he wouldn't really matter. So it actually works best that way, I guess, because then no one dies. The 30 people plus Kruger don't die. Kruger just gets
I think all the people
captured.
Are going to die and Kruger's just captured. But we'll see.
We'll see. Anything else before wrapping up then?
Nick Britell's score, still great. I listened to like the closing music was really beautiful when I was just sitting there for however long the credits were going, just listening to. Capped off a very somber episode.
Really, really good score for this whole show. It's just, I'm pointing out before how like it's got a lot more variety to it, and it doesn't sound at times like Star Wars, but it's really,
Nick
really
Britell, he's doing a lot of great work recently. So,
what else has he done?
Succession.
Oh, right, okay.
He did She Said, which I just saw this week. She'll go check it out.
Cool. I will.
And then listen to what do you want to watch
Yes.
when we talk about.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Going Rogue. Please subscribe to Holocron Entries, this podcast feed that you're listening to, for all our other Star Wars shows, including The Mandalorians, The Very Bad Batch Season 2, and the upcoming, whatever the show we end up calling about, what's that?
The Acolyte?
That one, yep, that. Follow all of our Twitters by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter and join our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. If you like this episode and you want to tell us, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Donate as little as $1 to help out the show. And until next week, keep on rebelling.